So let's talk about metadata. So the definition of metadata is a set of data that describes and gives information about other data. So anything that describes something else is technically metadata. So how does this apply to music? Well, what happens sometimes, you might burn a CD to take to a conference, or perhaps you ordered a bunch of artist CDs or something like that, and you go and put them in your another computer, or your friend puts them in a computer, or the supervisor that you handed the CD to puts them in a computer, and it comes up like this. Track 1, new or unknown artist, and there's no title there. Well, that's the last thing that you want, because now they don't know who this track came from or where to find you. And having metadata available is going to help them be able to track you down. I'll kind of show you how this gets into the whole internet world, because I just learned something new the other day, which I will share with you. So untagged, what I call untagged files, music files, are bad. Your music is going to come, when you get it created, in different forms. MP3 is like the most common, but that's actually it's a lower fidelity file, which is fine. But when you get something back from a producer, you get a high quality file, such as a WAV file or an AIF file. AIF is more associated with Mac. These WAV files do not retain any information or data we put into the tracks. And even if you give them your tracks with a CD, like with a label and your contact information on the cover, they may not keep that cover, or it could have been lost or thrown away. And the song can get lost into oblivion on their computers. So what we want to do is we want to tag our music files, and I will show you how to do that and how to prevent that whole track 1, track 2 thing from happening. When you tag your files, they're easily sorted. That means usually by song name, by artist, by album, especially within iTunes or any music thing, that's the sort columns. It's going to be better visibility in a music supervisor's catalog, because if they're using iTunes, which most of them do, it just comes right up and it sorts, and they can see your name and they can see hopefully the album. And I will give you some tips on how they don't have to go searching for your contact information. But technically they should be able to find that contact info within your file, know what the song is about. If they open up the file and they look into the comments, you can put some general moods and descriptors in there, so they understand briefly what the song's about. They also will want to know the licensing availability, and I'll show you where you can put that information. But in order to do this metadata tagging on your MP3 and WAV and AIF files, you really want to start keeping a song catalog spreadsheet, so you have that data in one place that you can easily find. So in this song catalog spreadsheet, you're going to have your song name, you're going to have the artist, the genre, the contact info, writer's PRO info and splits. You're going to have the song summary and description, mood, keywords. You guys are hearing me okay, right? If somebody can raise their hand, it looks like it, but for some reason the microphone feature on my end is not showing that I'm actually talking.
Yes.
Okay, good. Just making sure. You never know. Okay, keywords, instruments, vocal. Is it a male, female vocal, or duet kind of thing?
You're listening to?
In the style of, or a la artist, which we'll talk about. First, we'll talk about that and how you find that kind of information. What else? Whoops, sorry. The beats per minute or tempo, the key of the song, the lyrics, the year of copyright, if you did that. So it sort of looks like this. I took some screenshots from a catalog that I have. So here's my one track, the title, what library it might be in, or where I pitched it to. You can change these columns to suit your needs. The date it was written, if I retitled it for somebody, what the name of the retitle is. The writer's splits, name and splits, and PRO, who the publisher is. If it's non-exclusive, usually it's self-published, so I'm the publisher. A general description about the song. You want to put in some keywords and moods. So there's moods is one thing. So like love, romance, heartache, despair, that kind of thing. And then keywords are usually like coming of age, or relationships, or a day in the park, family, picnic. So kind of what you envision the song theme is and what it's about, what it could be used for. So you can put those in one column, or you could separate them out. Then you want to put in the genre, possibly the subgenre, because a lot of places ask for subgenre. The featured instruments here, the tempo, and you could do the tempo as the exact beats per minute, or just like slow, medium, fast, that kind of thing. The a la artist, which means like the sound alikes or what playlist it could be found in, the year of copyright, and if you registered it with your PRO. And you actually have a copy of this spreadsheet in both the 10 steps class, and I'll be loading one into the Turning Pro in this section as well. So you'll have an Excel sheet that you can start, and I can put a link in there to a Google Doc or Google Sheet that I created too, in case you prefer the Google side of things. So let's look at an MP3 file. So this here is an MP3 file through iTunes. MP3s will retain the data. The high fidelity AIFF files, which are similar to WAV, just kind of max form, usually retain the data, but not always. Like they don't always retain everything. So oftentimes I will tag my high fidelity file, my AIF, and then I'll make a new one, kind of a copy of it. And apparently that encodes the data. I'll show you that stuff too. So here's details of the song. There are a lot of different programs out there you can use to tag MP3 files. I'm just used to iTunes, so I know how it works. It's easy for me to do. I like how it sorts my data, so that's the one I kind of stick with and show people. But I think there are things like MP3 Tag and some other software versions out there. So I fill out the song name, the artist name, the album, the composers with their splits, the genre, the year, the BPMs, and then here in my comments, I put some of those keywords there. And also what I've been putting in here, like really early in the comments, is either easy, clear, or one stop. So what that means is that if you put in those segments like easy, clear, that means that you own the rights to the song. And for a music supervisor, it's going to be easily cleared. That means they don't have to go through any publisher to get the rights to license your song. They just go through you, or or you can put one stop, which means that you are the one stop they have to go to license their music. Another thing you can do you put your email and phone number in the comments. I've been putting my email lately next to the artist name. So Michelle Lockey, and then my email. So when it sorts, and I'll show you this in iTunes, when it sorts out, that means that they can see that easily. So if you go into iTunes, let me go to the screen here. Where'd it go? Oop, there it is. So if you go into iTunes, and the way I get to this screen, you can either do File, or no, Edit, sorry, Song Info. So that brings you to this screen here, and all these you can click in and you can type information in. And then here, this one I don't have as many keywords in there because it's an older file that I just haven't gone in and fixed yet. So you can put your email. You can't put everything in this, like eventually it's going to run out of space, so you just kind of put what you can fit. And if you look, let's see, do I have any with my email? Let me get out of this search here. Yeah, so here's one. This is another with my duo group, Blue Cedar. So see how that sorts. So like, let's say I gave them this CD, and they're actually numbered because this is a CD for a conference. There's the title of the song, whatever album it was, which doesn't really matter just for this particular conference. But here's the artist's info and an immediate contact. So an immediate email that they could just email or call me right away. And so they don't have to go digging anywhere, actually. They don't have to go into this field to find that stuff because I put it right there in the artist name. Now what iTunes will do is it'll create an artist like this. So whatever your name is and your email, and it'll create a folder and put all your music under that artist with that email. So that's why I like the sorting functionality of iTunes, because it creates a physical folder on my hard drive. And I know if I want to find all my songs that I'm pitching, I can just go right to that particular folder on my computer and see all my files if I need it. So let's go back here. Here we go. All right, so then there are other boxes in here. You've got artwork, which you can add, and if it's an official CD, usually you can put that artwork in there, and then you can actually put the lyrics in the lyrics tab, and then the rest of them I don't really worry about there. There's nothing to fill in there. It's mostly details, artwork if you want to, so it just has a little artwork tag, and then your lyrics, because while they're listening, they could go to the lyrics tab and kind of see the lyrics and read through them as they go, which is always a nice thing to do.